there is a very pressing issue. Huh? There's a very pressing issue, and I figured if I don't talk about it with you, who else can I talk to? With, sindio? And it's the issue of teenage pregnancies. Sijui kama hiyo mmeisikia? Mmeisikia? Has it become an issue or it has always been an issue? Yeah? It has always been. But what has happened? It is becoming worse. Sindio? So then does that mean we keep quiet about it? Good. Sasa mimi, I'm not here to teach. I'm not here to train. I'm not a professional in that topic. But I want us to discuss. Sawa? I want us to discuss. I want us to look at what are some of the issues. What are some of the causes? What are some of the solutions that we can give? Sawazisha Gumzo. In English, it's making a topic, creating that normalcy in a situation whereby we should be able to talk about it. You go home, mzazi hataki kuongelea hili jambo. You go to school, anasema kazi ni amza. So now the topic has become a taboo. So, I want to forward this question to you. What are some of the causes that you think huwa inafanya huyu mtoto wa kike ajipate hapo, ama huyu mtoto wa kiume afanye hicho tendo?
I think wasichana wengi kitu ambayo inafanya wafanye hilo tendo ni peer pressure. Currently huku kwetu tuseme tu ni Ocha, nyinyi mmetoka Nairobi huko hivyo. So msichana anaweza pita hapa hivi then aone msichana kama wewe. Na huku nilisema kitu inatupiga sana ni poverty. So msichana akipita hapa hivi aone venye umevaa hivi na yeye ana do. Na kuna jirani yake huko home ako na pesa na anataka maybe before apate hii pesa lazima umse pia ashughulikiwe. So msichana anamwambia ni aje tukutane pale fulani hivi hivi. Then unapata udem ameomba madhake ruhusa ama ameepa home, ameenda. The next day utaona huyo dem alikuwa anavaa skirt. Next day ameanza kupiga toja. So I think issue inachangia hiyo kitu ni poverty. Nitaemphasize tu poverty kabisa. So wasichana wengi ni poverty. Boy child now, drugs. Unaenda huko kwa mbogi yako, mnapiga hizo vitu then mnaanza kuchochana. Ati sijui kuna nini hapo hivyo. So unapata mimi nilikuwa boy najishughulisha na mambo yangu. But nimepata mbogi yangu huko hivyo. Nimeanza kujiingiza kwa vitu ambazo hazifai. I think tu ni hiyo.
Have phones, they have access to phones. And when you access phones and internet, you access a lot of this pornographic or something. So they'll want to do practicals. They watch and want to do practicals. So they find themselves in such messes.
This discussion is all about is just to create champions. So that we as young people are the champions who are going to actually make sure that teenage pregnancies is done and done away with in our communities. And that's why tunasema mambo ya COVID imeleta challenges. That's why the number is a bit small. But I think the smaller the number, we need to feel the impact in our communities. Sasa mimi ningependa tu kuambia kama youth champions and leaders that our girls need to enjoy their life as the moderator has said. And it's upon us to make sure that we are the champions against teenage pregnancies by talking to our girls and more importantly talking to our boys, sindio? Sindio? Because wote wanashiriki pamoja, sindio? Tukiongelesha kijana akikataa itakuwa kweli. Sasa pia tunatakana kuongelesha vijana. Sisi kama shirika la National Youth Council tunaendelea kushirikiana pamoja na tunaendelea ku make sure that actually hii mambo ya teenage pregnancies tumeleta mambo ya kusawazisha gumzo kabisa mtaani ili mambo ya teenage pregnancy issue.
With regard to teenage pregnancy, actually it's been an issue, and I think poverty is a major contributor because our teachers are doing the most. Our syllabus is doing the most. In class 6, you already taught about your reproductive system, how you can get pregnant and such things. But I would say majorly, the poor are the most affected. And that is the truth. You wouldn't get a rich kid pregnant. And majority will probably, not a rich kid, someone who is able to access basic needs. They rarely get pregnant at teenage ages. Probably in the university, yes. But a majority of the people who are teenagers and get pregnant are the poor. And that is because they are not, even that condom, they can't access. Even that family planning pills, they can't access. We wouldn't advocate for teenagers to do probably those family planning methods, but if it's the only means that can keep these girls safe, for me, I will advocate for them. That is me as Leila. So, but at the end of the day, even getting that 100 bob to buy a packet of the pills is an issue. Even probably kufika hospitali and taking those, I hear in my ward, when the condoms are placed at the dispenser, by the time you go there like 10 minutes later, they're not there. They're not accessible. So who are these who are taking? A few of them are the people who are taking to keep themselves safe. Yet the majority are not accessing these things. In terms of poverty, right now our kids were being kept in schools. Probably they had a feeding program in those schools. But right now that they are back home, there is no food. There are no basic needs like the sanitary towels. So you get these men, the elderly men, even not boys. The men are the people who are giving them 100 bob or 200 bob for them to buy food, for them to access sanitary towels. So for me, poverty is the main issue. If we eradicate poverty and make some things accessible to a majority of us, we will, teenage pregnancies will go away.
It's a lot of time. How are they going to spend these 10 months plus at home? So choosing for them the right activity to participate is one thing that is lacking in our society right now. And until we interrogate on how we are going to ensure that they spend time adequately, then we are not going to solve this situation.
I think another cause is lack of information about sexual and reproductive rights. Well, lack of information about sexual and reproductive health rights.
Sisi ile motion yetu tunasikiana tukiwa huko Nairobi about Western, that during this time kijana around 10 years goes through this cultural act ya circumcision, but the things they are taught there huko ndani before wapone, they are even ati kuna shosho huwa wanakuja wakati wamepona wafanye ile maneno, wafanye hiyo practice, wafundishwe sasa how to do it. And what happens when they get out of that thing na wamefundishwa how to do it? They continue practicing it with their age mates now. Si wamekuwa pro. Kwanza wanaenda wanaonyeshana shule, we unajua mimi nimefanywa kitu fulani. Alafu unajua nimeshafundishwa kuwa mwanaume. So they end up starting to do it with their fellow young girls. And what happens? The young girls, because kuizi chakula yenye tunakula, my friend, it makes us fertile at a very early age. Tumesikia hata 9 years wana fertilize. So these young boys end up impregnating their other young girls, and we get ourselves into this situation. Sijui kama ni ukweli, nyinyi mtatuambia. Mimi ni moshana niwape na msiambie mtu.
So you have sex and someone promises you to give you sanitary pads or money.
Now the girl is pregnant. She's pregnant. They say out of every 5 girls, statistics, 1 girl is either pregnant or 1 is a mother. Out of every 5 girls. Apparently in Kajiado, it's not even 1, 2. Early during the lockdown period, those 3 months, 152,000 teenage mothers, school-going kids, got pregnant. 152,000. further, it indicated out of every 1,000 births, 96 ilikuwa vijana tu hawa teenager, mtoto anajifungua mtoto.
But it's just an advice to our sisters. Currently, Kakamega County is running at, I think, at 7,000 on teenage pregnancy. And my word, sometime it actually featured on news. In one school, I had 13 cases, ranging from 9 to about 19. So we did a mentorship program and extended to other schools. Nikaona kama imerudi chini, though haijaisha. So, and we can't blame even teachers. We also can't blame men. Apparently, the ongoing teenage pregnancy is among the teens. Ni watoto tu wa form 1 amepatiana form 2. Kama kwangu kuna wengine wameoana tu from the same secondary school na Manje. Huyu ameoa huyu, mwingine ameoa huyu. Sasa they're all under 18. So it's ni kuwapatia advice tu wasome. Because it's not actually food. Hao watoto mtu asileila, watoto wako na chakula, wazazi wao wanawatafutia. So ni raha tu anataka kuenjoy tu. Mtoto aisema ati nimepata mimba sababu nilikuwa natafuta chakula ama nini, hapana. So to advise, but in our ward we've initiated something with the chiefs and assistant chiefs, because you remember Uhuru warned them that they'll take personal responsibility. So kwangu watoto wa below 18 ikifika saa 1 nyumba 10 na chiefs walishafungua viboko watembei. Ikifika tu saa 1 mtoto akipatikana whether ni wanani ama nani, hiyo tulishasema wanachapwa viboko, wanakaa kwa nyumbani. Then we also banned easy movies, kwenda kwa video games na nini, na hata tournament kwa wodi yangu tumekataza, because unajua wanakutana kwa hiyo tournament alafu wanaenda hivi. Recently in Kakamega watoto walikuwa na jog, sijui kama mlisikia. So watoto wanaamka 5, hata I think kuna maybe 5 tu wanakimbia, mzazi anafikiri wameenda mazoezi. Wakiingia hapo kwa bush wanamalizana lap moja, wanasonga mbele. Si ilikuwa inafanyika? Mpaka sasa wakashangaa. Unaona askari wanaona walikuwa 10 lakini sasa wamebaki 6 wengine hivyo. So sisi kile tunaweza fanya Roy, just advice, because mtoto pia akishaamua anafanya hivi tu huwezi mkataza. But they should know that, especially sisi wanaume, mwanaume akikupatia mimba saa hizi kuoa. Hata sisi heshimiwa. Unajua sasa zingine unatembea hapa town unaweza fikiri hata ni msichana, kumbe ni mtoto form 3. Na tena hata wasemi hao ni wanafunzi. Anakuambia kwa most second year. So muambie future ni yao, because hata sisi tukisoma tulikuwa tunafikiri unasomea wazazi wako, kumbe unajisomea tu. Wavumilie, and I don't know what will happen between now and January, because wengi sahi wamepata mimba and now we are going to run the risk of abortion. Hiyo sasa ndio shida inaenda kuwa. Shida hata itakuwa pregnancy, itakuwa na ni death and complication resulting from abortion. Because now we need now to come up with we devise another method ya ku discourage abortion. Tuseme kwa bahati mbaya kama mtoto amepata mimba, anaweza arudi shule maybe in March ama nini, because sasa wataanza kutoa mimba.
Do these things happen? Is it a good thing kwa huyu mtoto wa kike? So now I want to take us back now to you. In terms of personal responsibility, do you believe we all have a personal responsibility? Because tutakaa hapa tutasema, tutalaumu mzazi, haongelei. Tutalaumu mwalimu. Serikali haifundishi, hakuna curriculum. Sijui nani kukaenda kukashuka.
Some of these cases are not going past the mark, or how can we reduce it? First of all, we are the elites of the society right now. It's our responsibility, now that we had access to education, to try and talk to these young people and give them guidance. Second, like for my part, maybe from personal experience, I have been in that capacity to start some mentorship talks at this time. We know it's a difficult time. This is a crisis time, COVID-19, But I personally have taken that initiative of using the power of fast technology. I assembled some people using a projector in Turkana County, and I talked to them, or I advised them via Zoom. That is using my own resources and the correspondent in Turkana. 2, we have liaised with the local authorities, that is the sub-county administrators and head of security, together with my sister here. We have liaised with them, and we have observed all the COVID-19 rules by providing some of these masks from our own personal contributions, that's from the youths. And these youths we are working with are basically university students across the country from my own constituency. So like today, as we are seated here, we have an ongoing mentorship fully coordinated by the National Police. They have observed all the mechanisms that are required by the Ministry of Health. So it's already a sure thing that we are trying to address these issues from a point of knowledge. We have got the statistics from the Children's Department at the sub-county after visiting them, and we have assembled them, and we are trying to come up with solutions. We want them to provide for us solutions. It's not our duty to tell them what to do, and that's where most mentors go wrong. We tend to offer what we call, let me feed you, and after the session, I'm gone. But we are not forgetting that these are the people who are affected, so they have to give us what they are suffering from, and after they have given us, it's now their duty now to provide solutions, because they have the solutions themselves.
So you who are here, you are ambassadors of the youth. You go back to your villages, start with 3 people, talk to them, tell them, give into example. Sometimes you use bad examples to make sure that you achieve what you are. Angalia mama mwingine, unaona ule mama alizaa kama ako class 4, wewe at least uko class 5. So sasa usifanye urafiki na wanaume. You can even say wanaume ni wabaya. Awachukieko kidogo, but when that time comes atajua uzuri wa hizi vitu, itakuwa amepita ile kiwango. So I think that one can be good. So you as our ambassadors, go back to the villages. Kama wewe ni mwanaume, talk to them. Even tell these young men not to explore so much. Talk to these young ladies. Wako vikundi. And I believe when ladies work together, a group of 5, 6, 7, no man will approach you. Let me tell you today, it is just like in the jungle where you have the lion. When the animals are together like the zebras, it's not very easy for the lion to attack. But the moment unataka kuslay queen peke yako nini, saa hizo ndio utapatikana. Mtoto ataomba gari ya babake. He's only 17, not even 17 years, 14 years old, ameiba, amekuja, wewe mtu wa miaka 15, 16, anakuingiza box. So my advice, work as a group. If you have to go somewhere, the moment you do that one, mnarudi kila mtu tena mnaenda hivi, this kind of problems zitapunguka. Tuwezi sema ziezi punguka zote, lakini zitafanya nini? Zitapunguka. Kwa sababu wenzangu wamesema mengi, sitaki niongeza hapo.
What I should do, I should tell the teenagers the truth about sex or sexual and reproductive health, so that in the process when they are growing up, they should know when you go and do this thing called sex, what are the consequences? What will you gain from it?
Or even the teenagers, some of them believe that because to be honest, the teenagers see how wakona boyfriends, my girlfriends, most of them believe that since tuna date, lazima we engage in sex, and then they also don't use the contraceptives or the CDs and stuff.
One of the major problems or challenges we have in Kakamega County is your teenage pregnancies. So it's a whole problem that's really affecting our young girls. So we are trying all our best to sensitize the youths or those small children to avoid being kudanganywa tu ovyo pale. See. And again, through the office, through the office of the chiefs and the DCC's offices, we have some forums, especially before the COVID thing happened. We normally have the barasas. So one of the areas we normally talk to them, ni kuhusu nini, kujikinga na mambo kama haya, to respect themselves first. No. So kitambo mtu akwambie whatever you are telling you or her, wewe mwenyewe umejirespect. And again, we are tough as the Sexual Offences Act is. Whoever atapatikana na that mistake, there is nothing like negotiations hapo chini. It's just wewe na sheria. So we are again telling our chiefs, shida kama ilipatikana in your jurisdiction na usiposema, then you are liable again. So sheria, we always encourage them, you don't need to discuss mambo ya rape cases or defilement vis-a-vis murder cases. Hiyo ni mambo tunakusukuma kotini peke yake. So when we follow the law, and at least one of them ashtakiwe mzuri, then it becomes a lesson to others. Yeah, it's like, oh, kumbe, this thing is very, very serious. But again, we've realized kuna problem among the parents of your watoto na the boys' parents. They normally don't say these things. So wanamaliza kinyumbani. So later on mtu ukisikia already mambo ishaisha kitambo sana. So we normally encourage them, don't even think of trying to renegotiate such thing in the family setup. To the moment we do that, it's like we're encouraging hiyo mambo ni kama normal things. Then again, we've realized kuna cases of incest. Naye pia inakuwa ni vigumu kumwambia sasa ni kama ni niko yako ama ni baba yako. So mzee anakubali tuwaumie kisirisiri. So we need to come up, we need to talk about all these things. Imefanyika ni makosa. So nothing like we are trying to negotiate about it. So we, as we have mentioned in the morning, we as the champions, the ambassadors, let's talk to our youths. Let's talk to all of us. Let's respect the dignity of that child. Ni mtoto mdogo sana. So you don't need to defile, you don't need to cut maisha yake mapema sana. So if we work together, I believe we can be able to control or lower down this issue of teenage pregnancies.
And I want to touch up a little bit about women, menstrual period, and sanitary towels. So you might be wondering why as gentlemen I'm talking about this when you're here, because in one way or another you're actually part of our menstrual period, because in one way we might have come to you as a brother, as a boyfriend, or as a husband to like buy us sanitary towels. So I want to explain a little bit about AfriPads. AfriPads are reusable sanitary pads that are quite accessible to guys, to little ladies and women who cannot afford the regular sanitary pads. So I'll just briefly explain and how it's used. So inside this pack you have five sanitary pads, 2 for mini, 2 for mini and 2 for maxi and 1 for maxi super, and 2 bags. So this one is the mini. This one is the mini. We have 2 of these. This one is the maxi. We have 1 inside the packet. And then we have this one for maxi. So how do we use this? So inside from the packet, you're going to like remove. Yeah. So you're going to remove it. Like nguo za kawaida, we have to wash it. The reason as to why we wash it is for any suppose there is any bacteria inside this sanitary towel. So how do we wash it? You pick up basin, we put some water, we use soap to wash this for the first time before you use it. So you wash it properly and then you leave it on the sun to sun dry for around 2 to 3 hours. Okay? So one is to remove bacteria and the second one is for maximum absorption when you start using the sanitary towel. That is why we are using water and soap. So how do we start? How do we use when suppose that time of the month comes? So ni kama tu pad ya kawaida. It's not any different. It's just that it's just like any other sanitary towel, like ya kawaida. So you pick your panty. So this is how it looks. Kuna hii surface, and this one is the side you're going to put on top of the panty. So this side, it offers leakage protection. And then this side, it's very soft. And then ikona two buttons. So once you put it on your pad, unaifunga tu, on your panty, unaifunga tu, and it has two adjustable holes. So one ni hiyo kwa adjust, and two ikona purpose yake. Once umeitumia, unaifunga hivi, and then you like put it like this, and then like this. You ndo purpose ya the two buttons. And then you put it. Like this, and then like this. Alafu unaenda kwa mfuko.
Tumeshika? Tumeelewa? So at this point, ukifunga hivi na hivi, it could either be a used pad or a free pad, a new pad, a clean pad. That labda umeenda shuleni, umeenda kazini, and you need to change. Sawa? This one can be used 6 to 8 hours. Okay? The blue one can be used 8 to 10 hours. Sawa? Na sana sana hii inatumika usiku. Because usiku, that is where the flow is a bit, yeah? Na hii ni mchana. The blue one also has its own mfuko. Hiyo mfuko iko na mfuko yake.
It have an implication later on. So you have to wash it properly. Just take your time, yoshe vizuri na maji na sabuni. And then how does it like kukauka? So once umemaliza ume rinse and the water is clean, just take your pad, put it in direct sunlight for 2 to 3 hours. If you're not kama tuko mahali kuna jua, you can just put it in your house, but penye ventilation iko poa kabisa. Maybe next to a window, and then you leave it for 2 to 3 hours ikauke. And please make sure imekauka. Okay? And oh yeah. And the other thing, we're not supposed to bleach it. You're not supposed to bleach it. You're not supposed to use jik. Please don't use hot water to wash it. Reason being, ukitumia bleach ama ukiyosha una affect durability at this pad. And as you've seen, you can use it for 1 year and above. And if you want to use it for 2 years, then you have to take good care of it. And by taking good care of it, you have to like follow the instructions that have been provided.
Is that in order? And then you cannot share. Please, don't share. Hii ukitumia ni yako na ni yako mpaka siku ile itaisha. Sawa? Are we clear up to that point?
The teenage pregnancy champions, youth champions, who are just going to the community to discuss about teenage pregnancies. Of course, with the leadership of the county, I'm sure we will also see how do we green our country by planting more trees. And I think that one we'll discuss. Our model as National Youth Council is actually to use the young leaders. And that's why I reached out to Leila, I reached out to Kevin, and I also, Kevin, thank you by extension. You reached out to Bernard. Now Bernard is my friend now. So next time we come with an intervention in Kakamega, you will see I will have mobilized all of you young leaders. There's something we're also discussing with Bungoma County about a sports fest for next year. We can see how we can link up between Bungoma, Kakamega, and Busia. We have one regional sports fest. And then, of course, we'll bring about partners to make sure it's big and bigger, because it's also one of these mechanisms with our partner, Spread Truth Africa. We use this to actually inculcate values in our young people, because our young people have lost values. Now, when you look at values like honesty, hard work, and love, they're gone. That's why you are easier. That's why issues of transactional sex comes in, because a young girl does not want to work hard, as Leila put it, but she wants to go and get that money and transact her body to get the pads. But when we inculcate those issues of hard work in our girls, We inculcate values of honesty and finally love, to even start by loving their bodies. You know, when you love your body, you'll not want to subject it to other things at the wrong time. So that's why with the partnership of other partners like Spread Truth Africa, which we really appreciate, we'll come back and do a bigger event, I think past COVID. And I think that one we've already made arrangements. And I think it's just after these issues have gone, we will agree and come. Allow me also to acknowledge our partners, KPC. Leila, we didn't spend our money to buy these sanitizers. But if we were to spend it, we'll have spent it maybe buying food. But this is through our partnership that we have with KPC. And we also have Chandaria, who have given us sanitizers. And of course, our National Youth Council Youth Industrial Program, which we just tell young people to make soap. And I think this is a discussion we'll have with you. And we support them in making the soap. But you will assist us in getting them, the county government to buy that soap from them, so that they are now economically empowered. Then finally, why we have Kajwanga and the team is that in this Kikao session, we also need to talk about youth empowerment, economic empowerment. And that's why we marshal the youth officers in terms of all the affirmative funds, in terms of youth fund, women enterprise fund, Uwezo fund. And we just want to know in Kakamega County, how many youth are benefiting, how much is available for them, and can we come back, when we come back 6 months or 4 months down the line, can we have the exact number that has gone to the youth? As Leila puts it, once they have the money in their pockets, then these issues, they will not be compromised. Kevo? Sawa. So I think, and then going forward, National Youth Council is also at the stage of formulating the election guidelines. And this is just to allow us to also elect young people also to come on board, to represent Kakamega and also to represent, to serve at the council. So I think I'll come back to you again from your county, from your wards, to assist us as National Youth Council when we start those elections, so that we have the right leadership in place. And I use those words, the right leadership, deliberately, because we've had challenges, especially when it comes to youth leadership at the council. But we will partner together with the leadership so that we get young people to not only to serve at Kakamega, but also at the council help. And I think we'll discuss that, sort of an engagement. And that's the reason I reached out and said, can we have the youth leaders on the table so that we can come up with interventions together? I believe that we've started today in terms of teenage pregnancy, but you will pick it up and we'll hold hands together to make sure that we make it bigger and better. Bigger and? Nikisema NYC, mnasema sauti ya vijana. NYC? Bana, hata kama lanja haijafika. NYC? Sauti ya vijana? Nyinyi mko chonjo, ngangari na tuko sawa kabisa.